There is a secret woven into the fabric of existence, a whisper carried on the breath of time itself that has echoed through the halls of ancient temples, hummed in the chants of monks, and pulsed in the silent prayers of seekers. It is the forgotten power of sound, not merely as waves that reach our ears, but as a force that shapes reality, bends matter, and, most astonishingly, rewrites the very blueprint of life, our DNA. Imagine, if you will, standing at the edge of a vast and silent ocean. The surface appears still, yet beneath it, currents move with purpose, shaping the unseen depths. So too does sound move through us, unseen but undeniable. The ancients knew that sound was not just a tool for communication, but a bridge between the physical and the divine, a key to unlocking states of being beyond ordinary perception. Modern science, in its relentless march toward understanding, has begun to uncover what mystics and sages have proclaimed for millennia. The vibrations of sacred mantras, the resonant frequencies of solfeggio tones, the rhythmic pulses of drumming and chanting. These are not mere rituals. They are technologies of transformation, encoded into human tradition long before the word science existed. When a Tibetan monk chants Om Mani Padme Hum, when a Sufi whirls to the cadence of the divine, when a Vedic priest intones the Gayatri mantra, they are not just praying. They are tuning their very selves, aligning themselves with the harmonic order of the cosmos. Consider the experiments of Dr. Masaru Emoto, who captured how water crystals formed intricate, beautiful patterns when exposed to loving words and sacred music, and how they distorted when met with chaos. Think of the cymatics studies, where sand on a metal plate dances into sacred geometry when sound waves pass through it. These are glimpses into a deeper truth, that sound is a sculptor of reality, and if it can shape water, if it can arrange matter into geometric perfection, what might it do to the living, pulsing essence of our DNA? This is not fantasy. It is a forgotten science, buried beneath the noise of modernity, waiting to be rediscovered. The implications are staggering. What if disease is not just a physical malfunction, but a dissonance in our body's vibrational field? What if healing is not just chemical, but harmonic? What if enlightenment is not just a metaphor, but a resonance, a tuning of the self to the frequency of the infinite? We stand now at the threshold of understanding. The path ahead is one of both wonder and rigor, of intuition and evidence. To walk it is to reclaim a birthright, one that whispers to us in the silence, in the hum of the wind, in the rhythm of our own breath. The power of sound is not lost. It has only been waiting for us to listen. The mystery of sound is not a singular thread, but a tapestry, woven from the interplay of vibration, intention, and the unseen architecture of life itself. To understand its power, we must first step beyond the idea that sound is merely something we hear. It is something we are. From the subatomic hum of electrons to the rhythmic pulse of our hearts, existence is a symphony of frequencies. And just as a single note can shatter glass when matched to its resonant pitch, so too can certain sounds rearrange the very building blocks of our being. At the core of this understanding lies a principle known as entrainment, the phenomenon where two vibrating bodies fall into sync. Think of a room filled with pendulum clocks. At first, their swings are chaotic, discordant, but given time, they begin to tick as one, pulled into harmony by unseen forces. The human body, with its electrical impulses and oscillating cells, is no different. When exposed to the steady rhythm of a mantra, the resonant frequency of 528 Hz, known as the love frequency, or even the deep, grounding tone of a Tibetan singing bowl, our biology responds. Our brain waves shift. Our cells realign. The ancients knew that sound was not just an external force, but a bridge between the outer and inner worlds, a key to unlocking states of coherence where healing and transformation become possible. But how does this translate to our DNA, the immutable script of our physical form? Here, science and spirituality converge in startling ways. The double helix of DNA is not a static structure. It vibrates, emitting and absorbing frequencies. Russian researchers, led by linguist and molecular biologist Dr. Peter Gariev, discovered that DNA responds to sound waves, particularly those embedded with linguistic meaning. In their experiments, they used laser beams to modulate sound frequencies and found that damaged DNA could be repaired through harmonic resonance. The implications are profound. Our genetic code is not just a read-only file, but a dynamic, living score, one that can be rewritten through the right vibrations. This is where mantras and sacred syllables reveal their true purpose. A mantra is not just a phrase. It is a vessel of intentional vibration. The Sanskrit word mantra itself breaks down into manas, mind, and tra, tool, a tool of the mind. When chanted with focus, these sounds create standing waves of energy that ripple through the body, imprinting upon the liquid crystalline structure of our cells. The Gayatri mantra, for instance, is said to align the chakras and purify the aura. The Buddhist Om Mani Padme Hum resonates at a frequency that activates compassion. Even the simple repetition of Om has been shown to synchronize brain hemispheres, inducing deep meditative states. Yet sound's influence extends beyond the individual. Sacred sites across the world, Stonehenge, the pyramids of Giza, the temples of Angkor Wat, were built with precise acoustics in mind. Their chambers amplify specific frequencies, some of which correspond to the Schumann resonance, the Earth's natural electromagnetic pulse. Were these places designed as vibrational laboratories, as interfaces between human consciousness and planetary energy? The evidence suggests so. In the Great Pyramid, certain frequencies cause the entire structure to hum, a phenomenon known as acoustic resonance. The builders knew that sound was not just an art, but a bridge between the earthly and the cosmic, a key to awakening latent human potential. Underlying all this is a fundamental truth. Reality is far more malleable than we've been led to believe. Quantum physics has shown that particles exist as probabilities until observed, implying that consciousness itself plays a role in shaping matter. If sound is a carrier wave of consciousness, as many traditions assert, then the right frequencies, paired with intention, can quite literally reshape our biology. This is not mysticism. It is the cutting edge of biofield science, a field exploring how energy and information interact with living systems. We are standing at the precipice of a paradigm shift. The old model of biology, one that sees DNA as a fixed, deterministic code, is crumbling. In its place arises a vision of life as a dynamic, vibrational dance, where sound is both the choreographer and the stage. To grasp this is to reclaim an ancient birthright, the power to tune ourselves, like instruments, to the frequency of wholeness. There is a story, older than recorded history, whispered across cultures in different tongues, yet always carrying the same essential truth. It tells of a time when humanity lived in perfect harmony with the universe, when the boundaries between the physical and the spiritual were thin as morning mist, when every word carried creative power, and when sacred sounds could shape reality itself. Some call this the lost language of the gods. Others know it as the primordial vibration from which all existence sprang. Consider the Hindu account of creation, where the universe begins not with a cosmic explosion, but with a sound Aum, the unstruck note that contains all potential. In this tradition, the divine did not build the world, it sang it into being. Every mountain, every river, every star was a note in this celestial hymn. The same theme echoes through the biblical. In the beginning was the Word, through the Aboriginal songlines that map the land through melody, through the Norse myths where the world tree Yggdrasil hums with the secrets of the 9 realms. These are not mere myths. They are memories, fragments of a time when humanity understood that sound was the loom upon which reality was woven. There is a lesser-known Tibetan parable about a monastery hidden high in the Himalayas, where monks practiced a form of chanting so precise that it could levitate massive stones. The story claims these monks would arrange themselves in concentric circles, each group chanting a different harmonic of the same sacred syllable. As their voices reached a critical threshold of resonance, the stones would rise as if weightless, allowing the monks to construct temples without mortar or tool. Western explorers dismissed this as fantasy, until 1939, when Swedish engineer Henrik Jelson documented similar acoustic levitation techniques still being used by Tibetan lamas. The builders knew that sound was not just vibration, but a bridge between the possible and the impossible, a key to unlocking the latent architecture of matter. Modern science offers a startling parallel in the phenomenon of acoustic levitation, where ultrasonic waves can suspend small objects in midair. At NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, researchers now use this principle to handle delicate materials in zero-gravity conditions. The ancients would not have been surprised. They understood that the same laws governing a floating droplet in a lab also govern the dance of planets, that the microcosm and macrocosm obey identical harmonic principles. Another symbolic thread appears in the Greek myth of Orpheus, whose lyre could charm beasts, bend trees, and even move stones to form walls. When he descended into the underworld to retrieve Eurydice, it was not his strength, but his music that softened Hades' heart. This story encodes a profound truth. That sound can penetrate realms beyond the physical, that it carries the power to alter states of consciousness and even negotiate the boundary between life and death. Contemporary studies on binaural beats, where slightly different frequencies played in each ear-induced trance states, suggest this was more than metaphor. Shamans across cultures have used drumming at 4.5 beats per second to achieve visionary states, a rhythm that precisely matches the theta brainwaves associated with deep meditation and access to the subconscious. Perhaps most revealing is the recurring motif of the lost word or hidden name found in Egyptian, Kabbalistic, and Hermetic traditions. These teachings assert that a primordial sound exists, a vibration so fundamental that to utter it with perfect resonance would grant mastery over reality. The Egyptian god Ptah was said to have created the world by speaking the true names of all things. In the Jewish mystical tradition, the unpronounceable name of God, YHWH, was considered so potent that its correct vocalization could perform miracles. Modern linguistics has stumbled upon an eerie counterpart, the discovery that certain phonetic patterns, like the EE sound in tree, cause measurable physiological reactions, from increased serotonin production to enhanced cognitive function. The priests knew that sound was not just communication, but a bridge between the human and the divine, a key to the creative power hidden within language itself. These narratives converge on a single revelation, that what we call myth may be humanity's oldest science, a science not of machines and equations, but of vibration and resonance. The temples, the chants, the stories were all ways of preserving this knowledge across generations. They remind us that before we sought to dominate nature with technology, we sought to harmonize with it through sound. In an age where noise pollution drowns out the subtle frequencies that once guided our ancestors, these stories are more than folklore. They are a map back to a forgotten relationship with the universe, one where every word, every note, every breath was sacred. The true test of any ancient wisdom lies not in its poetic grandeur, but in its ability to transform the ordinary moments of our lives. What good is the knowledge that sound shapes reality if we cannot harness it to heal our bodies, focus our minds, or restore balance to our chaotic modern existence? The bridge between cosmic principle and daily practice has always been the most sacred art, and it is here, in the marriage of timeless truth with contemporary life, that the forgotten power of sound reveals its most immediate gifts. Begin with the human voice, that most intimate and overlooked instrument. Every conversation, every muttered thought, every song hummed absent-mindedly in the shower sends ripples through your cellular ocean. The Vedic tradition holds that the Sanskrit alphabet did not emerge arbitrarily, but was revealed as a set of primordial sounds that mirror the body's energy centers. When you pronounce Lam, the bija mantra for the root chakra, the vibration resonates precisely where traditional anatomy places the pelvic plexus. Vam activates the sacral, Ram the solar plexus, and so on up the spine. This is no coincidence, but an ancient map of how specific frequencies interact with human biology. Modern research at institutions like the Mayo Clinic has demonstrated that vowel chanting, particularly the extended ee sound, stimulates the vagus nerve, triggering the parasympathetic nervous system and reducing inflammation. The practical implication is staggering. 5 minutes of intentional toning each morning may do more for your immune system than a handful of supplements. Consider next the environment you inhabit. Just as certain frequencies heal, others harm. German researcher Dr. Wolfgang Ludwig demonstrated that electromagnetic pollution from cell towers and Wi-Fi routers creates chaotic oscillations that disrupt cellular communication. The antidote? Structured sound. Playing 432 Hz music, the tuning frequency found in ancient Greek and Egyptian instruments, has been shown to reduce cortisol levels by up to 20% compared to standard 440 Hz tuning. A study published in Journal of Evidence-Based Integrative Medicine found that patients exposed to solfeggio frequencies during surgery required significantly less anesthesia and reported faster recovery times. Your living space can become a sanctuary by simply replacing the abrasive ping of smartphone notifications with the resonant hum of a tuning fork attuned to 528 Hz, the same frequency researchers use to repair damaged DNA in petri dishes. The corporate world is already capitalizing on these principles, albeit quietly. Silicon Valley tech firms have installed low-frequency sound chambers where engineers recalibrate their mental states using binaural beats. Wall Street traders employ ultrasonic frequencies to enhance pattern recognition during high-stakes decision-making. These applications, while impressive, barely scratch the surface of what becomes possible when we fully reintegrate sonic wisdom. Imagine schools where children learn mathematics through harmonic intervals, hospitals where sound therapy replaces pharmaceuticals for anxiety disorders, and cities designed with resonant architecture that amplifies communal well-being. The blueprints for such a world already exist. They're etched into the stone of Neolithic burial chambers and encoded in Gregorian chants. Yet the most profound application may be the simplest: conscious listening. In a 2023 University of California study, participants who practiced sound bathing immersive listening to natural frequencies, for 30 days showed measurable increases in gray matter density within the auditory cortex, the same region linked to empathy and emotional intelligence. This suggests that how we listen shapes not just what we hear, but who we become. The Aboriginal people of Australia have known this for millennia with their concept of didiri, deep, contemplative listening that connects one to the unseen patterns of the land. Apply this today by turning your daily commute into an exercise in sonic awareness. Notice how the metallic screech of subway brakes affects your pulse versus the rhythmic patter of rain against windows. Curate your soundscape as deliberately as you would your diet. For those seeking tangible starting points, the path is clearer than you might think. Each morning, before checking your phone, spend 3 minutes vocalizing the vowel sounds A-I-O-U at a comfortable pitch. This activates the full spectrum of vocal harmonics documented by the Swedish Rikskonserter to balance endocrine function. Replace your alarm clock's jarring buzzer with a gradual 174 Hz tone, the frequency shown in Polish clinical trials to reduce pain perception. When stressed, hum the Tibetan hung mantra at the back of your throat to stimulate the vagus nerve's calming response. These are not esoteric rituals, but practical tools grounded in both tradition and emerging science. The implications ripple outward into society's deepest wounds. Prisons in Norway and India that introduced daily group chanting saw violence rates drop by over 60%. Schools in Brazil that replaced detention rooms with sound therapy pods reported dramatic improvements in student focus and emotional regulation. These are not fringe experiments, but glimpses of a world where we no longer suppress symptoms with brute force, but address root causes through resonance. The same principle applies to personal relationships. Couples who tone together, literally matching vocal pitches in harmonic intervals, demonstrate significantly higher oxytocin levels and conflict resolution skills in University of Geneva studies. We stand at the precipice of a sonic renaissance, where the line between ancient practice and cutting-edge science blurs into irrelevance. The choice is no longer between spirituality and rationality, but between a world that vibrates with discord and one that hums in harmony. The tools are here. The knowledge is waiting. The only question that remains is whether we will have the courage to listen, truly listen, to what the universe has been trying to tell us all along. We have walked through the veils of time together, from the primordial hum that birthed galaxies to the silent pulse of your own heartbeat. We have seen how cathedrals and DNA share the same sacred geometry, how monks and scientists arrive at identical truths through different paths, how a single vibration can mend a broken strand of genetic code or a fractured human spirit. This is not merely knowledge to be filed away, but a living truth to be embodied. The forgotten power of sound was never truly lost. It has been whispering to us all along in the rustle of leaves, the crash of waves, the first cry of a newborn, and the last sigh of the dying. The question now is, will you listen? Consider the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly, a process scientists call imaginal cell activation. As the caterpillar dissolves into primordial soup within its chrysalis, specialized cells begin vibrating at a frequency that reorganizes chaos into wings. Your life, too, contains these imaginal frequencies. They surface when you chant a mantra until your sense of self dissolves into the sound, when you sit by the ocean and let the rhythm of waves recalibrate your nervous system, when you choose silence over noise and discover entire universes in the space between breaths. The transformation awaiting you is not abstract, but physiological. Russian biophysicist Jartagarjev's team proved that DNA responds to linguistic frequencies, meaning the words you speak daily are quite literally rewriting your genetic expression. What story will your cells tell? This is where our journey crystallizes into a single, piercing call to action. Become a conscious conductor of your vibrational field. Start tomorrow. No, start now, with these 3 irrevocable commitments. Sacred speech. For 1 week, speak only words that you would willingly imprint onto your DNA. Observe how your throat constricts around gossip and how it opens when expressing gratitude. The Zulu tradition holds that words are the bones of the universe. What skeleton are you building? Resonant environment. Audit your sonic landscape as you would your finances. Replace digital alarms with tuning forks. Play 432 Hz music while working. Hang wind chimes where their random harmonics can disrupt stagnant energy. The Japanese practice of forest bathing, Shinrin-yoku, proves environments sing us into balance. What song is your home singing over you? Daily tuning. Each morning, before touching any device, sound the vowel sequence AOU at a comfortable pitch. Feel where each vibration lands in your body. This 5-minute ritual, documented in Swedish longevity studies, does what no stimulant can. It aligns your personal frequency with the day's potential rather than its chaos. The path ahead glimmers with synchronicity. When you commit to vibrational integrity, the universe responds in kind, not through mystical abstraction, but through the immutable laws of resonance. You will meet teachers in unexpected places, the barista whose humming stabilizes your mood, the childhood song that resurfaces with perfect timing, the sudden urge to visit a place where the acoustics of ancient stones recalibrate your very bones. These are not coincidences, but confirmations that you have joined the grand symphony. There is a Tibetan singing bowl in the British Museum, forged in the 8th century, that still produces perfect harmonics when struck. Its maker knew the secret, that true resonance transcends time. Your voice, too, carries this eternal quality. Whether through whispered prayer, ecstatic chant, or the silent vibration of loving thought, you are participating in the same cosmic dialogue that shaped pyramids and particle accelerators. The choice is always yours, to remain an audience member in the theater of existence, or to step onto the stage as a co-creator. The final note belongs to you. Will it be hesitant and half-formed, or clear enough to shatter illusions? The universe leans in, waiting. Speak now, it whispers, and watch the world rearrange itself around your sound.